Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And let me know down below, is it sunny, rainy, cloudy, or what is it for you guys? What's the weather like today for you guys? For me, it's extremely sunny, but I guess it's almost turning dark, so yeah. Having said that, we have a ton of crypto news today. Going to start it off a little bit with the Ripple SEC news, as there's two pieces. One is like a minute ago or so that came out, literally 1 minute ago. Stuart Alderoty of Ripple on the SEC's continued effort to elbow all other agencies out of crypto in a power grab. And one specific report here. The SEC has filed a motion for extension of time until June 7, 2022 to file an objection to the amnesty request to participate in the briefing regarding the expert challenge. If you're not sure what this is all about yesterday or the day before, can't quite remember, John Deaton came in and said, hey, I don't think that one of the experts which you, SEC, used qualifies to be proper, as he basically states that the majority of XRP holders we're doing something which the majority of XP holders were not doing. Let's just kind of summarize it like that. The reason as to why we are buying, solely because Ripple is going to increase our bags, basically, instead of being able to buy purely for utility, to buy stuff with and whatnot, and so forth and so on. And so the SEC does not have a response straight away. They're just saying, hey, can we get some more time to respond to that? Fair enough. Then, about Stuart Alderoty, it's actually a little bit longer ago, about an hour ago. We agreed that consumer and market protections are needed, but saying that every token besides Bitcoin maybe is a security is a combination of bad law and bad policy, all in the name of the SEC's political land grab over the asset class. The SEC's jurisdiction is not limitless, and that's actually something which a lot of you guys in the comment section are always in about as well. The fact that Gary Gensler is making it look as if the SEC is like the overreaching entity over in the US that has power over everything, when in reality we're like, excuse me, I mean, SEC are fun and all, but shouldn't you kind of worry about the scams and the actual securities instead of trying to grab all these cryptos which shouldn't belong there? Again, Gary said on Twitter, it's probably not him tweeting himself, right? I couldn't imagine. While crypto markets may offer new ways for entrepreneurs to raise capital and for investors to trade, we all still need investor and market protections. Let's not risk undermining 90 years of security laws and create some regulatory arbitrage or loopholes. Yeah, it's 140,000 views in 5 hours. People are always in about Gary Gensler because his policies last couple of months here, people are not really in with it, right? People don't like it. Talking about what people don't like it, people are fearing. Gary Gensler is one of those things. Another one is this USDT idea. I've seen many people in the comment section say that USDT is going to depeg, get destroyed, this, that. In reality, the majority of you guys probably don't know exactly how USDT is backed or how a stablecoin might keep its value, I think, assumption. The reason I'm saying that is because USDT is not going to depeg by real big margins, like a 10% or more or whatever, by any coincidence or so. It can only happen if there's an injection of billions upon billions of dollars that actually persuades through. Because in theory, the price can always stay relatively close to $1 through arbitrage. That's one thing. Because if it's properly backed, which supposedly it is, and I mean, at least about, let's say, 75% or so can be confirmed. At least a part of it is a little bit of a, with Circle, 100% I believe is verifiable, proved. So if it's properly backed, the majority of it can never really crash. Let me reiterate that. So if it's pegged by, or basically pegged to the actual dollar, and it's backed up, collateralized by actual dollars, they have a couple of notes in there, which is what people are afraid of if they have Evergrande notes and whatnot, which might become worthless. You guys get it? If they have, let's say, $50 billion in actual dollars, then a huge chunk of people can actually cash out. A huge chunk of arbitrage can actually play a role before this starts to collapse. And again, because it's $80 billion worth, they have a little bit more time than with Terra, Luna, and UST, mostly because that was tied, the reserve, to Bitcoin, Luna, and only a little bit of actual stablecoins. So when those things all went down, the reserve also crashed significantly. And through the mechanism of being able to cash out $1 worth of Luna all the time, that's when Luna kind of just completely scrapped. And because Luna scrapped, the reserve went down even more. And with this, it doesn't really work that way. So to be honest with you, I'm not really afraid of USDT. But if I had to make a choice, I would say BUSD and USDC are nicer. USDC because we know Circle, BlackRock, so they would get bailed out if something happens for sure. And with BUSD, it's Binance. So I guess it just kind of goes to crap if Binance goes to crap. But I see that chance as being rather small as well. All right, Kathy Wood says crypto bear market may be close to the end. So there's one fun little thing I've noticed, and that is these different opinions on when the bear market is going to end. I've seen a lot of different crypto reports talking about why the bear market could be ending, or why, in reality, we could drop a significant amount lower or so. Bitcoin held on trading platforms continue to drop lower, over 68% of the total held by 5 exchanges. Just know, one thing that you should really understand properly, is that regardless of what you see, a lot of this stuff is manipulated, and a lot of this stuff is literally tailored to make you feel a certain type of way, not to just put the news out somewhere, all right? People want to get clicks, people want to make sure you read that article, and as I said before, both sides are being represented all the time, the bullish side and the bearish side, and it's just up to you to make sure which one sounds most logical, but also to never fear regardless of what you read, because for every bear, you'll find a bull. All right, theoretically speaking, it says crypto bear market maybe close to an end. This actually means nothing either, because if we're close to an end, how close is that? 1 week, 3 weeks, 7 months, what is close? She says the Federal Reserve may not raise by 0.5% in June. ARK Invest Kathy Wood says the correlation of stocks and crypto is one way to recognize a bear market, and it could even signal the beginning of the end. I guess maybe because if stocks are going to go down, crypto will keep on going down. That's one thing I know for sure. Unless people start seeing Bitcoin for what it actually is, the savior of the financial system, or even XRP for that matter, it will have this the direct correlation. And again, if we look at the reports, even from in the US right now, the Federal Reserve just had itself a report. We notice the majority of traders over in the US, they don't see Bitcoin as changing the financial system. They see it as an investment vehicle, something they can put money in and to get more money out rather soon. And that's a really bad thing. Again, it's not a bad thing for the price, not a bad thing for adoption straight away, but it's a bad thing for the correlation with the stock market. If there's going to be some massive stock crash, crypto's going down until people start to realize that, you shouldn't really focus about it that way. Then again, on another end, there's still tons of hatred from banks. And actually, the Bank of England, I think, has gotten out 2 different opinions on the matter. Bank of England governor apparently claims Bitcoin will fail as a payment method. And I had one specific post about the Bank of England over on my Twitter, but I kind of forgot what it is. It does not matter too much, though. Just understand, there will be many of these bears that say exactly this. It insists that Bitcoin has no intrinsic values, what the Bank of England governor said. Just understand, right? This guy as well, critical example. He doesn't want you to see this value in Bitcoin. He doesn't want you to see the utility in the cryptocurrency space. They want you to think it's just up and down. It's just a greater fool's theory that will eventually bubble out and collapse. You know why? Because it messes with their livelihood. It messes with their money. Again, my thoughts on the matter though, right? This is a little bit of a different story. I just thought it was interesting to share with you guys, but I think my story took a little bit of a different turn than what I wanted to initially get into. Madison Cawthorn, under investigation by House Ethics Subcommittee. The reason I wanted to kind of bring this up, to be honest with you, is mostly to kind of come back to William Hinman and whatnot about the whole ethics part, where whether or not there's been some conflict of interest somewhere and whether or not these guys should be investigated. I honestly think right now we are facing the battle like very much uphill, but the fundamentals are being set in stone. And eventually, once we look back in a couple of months from now, we'll look and say, there we go. Because all these guys have been investigated and a lot of things will come to light. But again, it will take a little bit of time. And right now, we're just kind of setting things up and seeing the hints and whatnot. But eventually, I think it will all come to light. Balenciaga to accept Bitcoin and Ethereum payments in the U.S. Very interesting this is. All right. And actually, this is not only Balenciaga, but I think a lot of different stores are going through some partners to be able to accept crypto. And you guys understand, these stores want to do that because, well, a lot of Bitcoin people, a lot of crypto people, they have tons of money to spend. Or in reality, I think it's the same thing that I have. I think spending crypto is a lot easier than spending actual euros or actual dollars or so, or actual dirham for that matter. And so if they were to accept crypto, I'd more likely be like, you know what, screw it, I don't really care. If they actually had to get my euros, it'd be like, $700 for a shirt? Absolutely not. And I guess if it's crypto, it's like, maybe it's funny. Maybe it looks good. You guys get my drift. Not in real, it's not completely realistic, but I'm just talking about I'm not talking about actually spending XRP or so. I'm talking about spending, my stablecoin in that sense, which still is crypto though. Crypto regulation high on the agenda for Australian new prime minister. I guess one thing you got to understand is why do I keep saying you got to understand? I think you guys understand every time I talk about it. So, don't catch that the wrong way. For the crypto market, the primary concern would be to put together the appropriate regulatory regime for the marketplace, but also to leave room for innovation. I think that's actually the stance the majority of people have, right? And again, I've been putting that over on Twitter like crazy as well. The fact that these regulators are trying to get towards it. They're trying to be adaptive in some way, shape, or form, and they know what the most important step is. Even the IMF boss said, hey, not everything is the same. All digital assets shouldn't be treated the same in that sense as well. And the most important thing was regulation. And I guess one little side note here that I forgot to add earlier, two things about Coinbase. One, this is actually the first crypto company ever to enter the Fortune 500 list, which is pretty cool. And they've added the BNB chain and Avalanche to the list of supported networks for its wallet. So I don't personally use that, but if you do, then this might be nice. And here was the governor of Bank of England acknowledging blockchain and crypto innovation. The thing is, even though they're negative at the end of the day, they're acknowledging the fact that it exists, and they know we can't really deny it, right? For the majority of these people that are really closely related to banks, I don't usually hear them say anything about XRP, which I think is funny, but most of the time they say it has no utility or something of the sort. Even Christine Lagarde was kind of of the same nature. And then again, it's going essentially against everything they believe in, that a central reserve currency basically needs to be backed up by a government, or that currency for that matter are something, properly regulated by a central government. And this is going against that idea, which of course they don't really like or don't believe in, because maybe they've been preaching this for the last 60 years or so. Who knows? All right, guys, but that was it for today's video. Just a quick little update on everything going on in the market right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you want, let me know down below what type of focus you like my videos to have. Right now I'm doing like a sort of news about everything type of video, but maybe you'd like to be more focused on one thing. If you guys would like it like that, let me know down below, just so I can get a little bit of a gauge of what I should focus my content towards, because at the end of the day, I'm making these videos for you guys. So let me know down below, and see you guys again in another one.